It is the improved magnification device, multi-purpose improved magnification device. It comprises of two tubes. This stainless steel tube may be called T1 tube and this black tube may be called T2 tube. Below this T1 tube there is an objective. Actually this is the 4x objective, and above the T1 tube there is an eyepiece. It is 10x eyepiece. So this tube itself may be called a microscope, which has the magnification power of 40x, that is 40 times magnification power it has. This is the T2 tube, the black tube is the T2 tube, and it is actually the holder tube. Through this T2 tube, the T1 tube can be moved upward and downward. That is, the upward and downward it can be moved, and it can be fixed at any position by this screw, which has been called S1 screw. By this screw, this can be fixed at any position. Now I am using this device on the microscope. First, by this device I can magnify the image very much. For very high magnification we have to use the high power objective of the microscope. Here the 40x objective is used here. So before using the device, at first the microscope has to be adjusted. The microscope has to be adjusted. Now I am adjusting the microscope. Now I am adjusting the microscope, and the microscope has been adjusted. The light adjustment is done, and by the fine and coarse adjustment screw, the adjustment has been done. Now I am trying to show you the view through the microscope. This is the normal view. That means without using the device, the view is, I am trying to show you the normal view without using the device. This is actually the 400 times magnification. 400 times magnification. Now I am now adjusting the magnification device on the microscope. If I want very high magnification, then at first the eyepiece have to be removed. Then eyepiece has to be removed, and then this device has to be kept on the microscope. Before keeping this device, the T1 tube has to be drawn, has to be pulled much time, and then it is kept on the microscope. Then again it is being adjusted. Again it is being adjusted. The light adjustment has also been. Now the magnified image is being seen. Now I am trying to show you the view through the device. This is the highly magnified view. About 1200 times magnified view. It is 1200 times magnification by using the 40x objective of the microscope. Now this device can be used for dissection purpose also, because it forms the erect image, and for that purpose low power objective has to be used. This is an opaque slide with ant on it. Now I am trying to see. First, the ants has to be eliminated from the upper side. The ants has to be eliminated from the upper side, and this is the 4x objective. For dissection purpose, low power objective should be used. So I have brought here the 4x objective. Now I am adjusting. By keeping the device on the microscope, I am now adjusting. The erect and magnified image of the ant can be seen through this device. Now I am trying to show you the image. That is the head of the ant. The erect image of the dead ant is being seen here. This device can be used for other purpose also. It can be used as a field microscope cum telescope, and for that purpose a separate tube has to be used. This tube may be called T3 tube. There is a lens on the one end of this tube, and this lens actually it has the focal length 5 cm, approximately 5 cm. So it is maybe called the another objective, and the tube is called T3. For the field microscopic view, I have to insert this device into the T3 tube. Now I am inserting the tube. I have inserted it. For field microscopic view, I have to pull the T1 tube much. I have to pull the T1 tube much. Then after pulling the T1 tube, then any object can be seen. Just keeping my eye on the eyepiece, and by moving upward and downward at a certain position, the image can be seen very clearly. Actually 30, 40, even 50 times magnified image can be seen here. Here the fibers of the table is being seen very clearly. Now if I wish to reduce the magnification, then I have to push the T1 tube into the T3 tube. I am now pushing it. I have pushed it, and then again I have to keep my eyes on the eyepiece, and again I have to move upward and downward. Practically after pushing the tube, I have to move upward more, because the distance between the object and the objective has to be increased in that case. So in this position I can see the fibers of the table. This is the field microscope. So by this microscope, insects, fossils, etc. can be seen very clearly, and the aperture of this lens is very high, so it can accept the much amount of light. So in this ordinary daylight, the insects or the fossils can be seen very clearly. thus now I am viewing an object of a very distant place. Then I have to push the T1 tube more. Then at a certain position, the objects of the very distant place can be seen very clearly after pushing some amount. There should be a graduation mark there. If I push it up to the graduation mark, then the object of the distant places can be seen, and then after for fine adjustment, by pulling or pushing, the image can be seen very clearly. So to see the object of the very distant place, I have to push the T1 tube, and after pushing the T1 tube at a certain position, the objects of the distant places can be seen. So it may be used as a field microscope also. The same device, the field microscope, as the telescope also. So it is a device which may be used as a field microscope as well as a telescope. And for the field microscopic view, no slight preparation is needed, so the children can also use it very easily. This device at the same time can be used for the astronomical telescope also. The principle is same. Suppose this is the astronomical telescope and it is the draw tube. Just insert it into the draw tube of the astronomical telescope, and then by its adjustment screw, the draw tube should be moved up and down. Then at a certain position, the objects of the image can be seen very clearly of the very distant places. Now I am describing the principles about the device. Actually, this is a microscope which has a magnification power of 40 times. Now, when I wish to see the highly magnified image, then when I wish to see the very highly magnified image, then the tube T1 has to be pulled much more, and then after adjusting the slide on the microscope, the image has to be seen, and after removing the eyepiece of the microscope, this device has to be kept on the microscope. So what is the principle? Practically, this objective makes an inverted real image in this position, because in this position, so the image becomes inverted and magnified also. This objective then again makes a real magnified image of that image in this position. So it makes an inverted magnified image. This objective again makes a real magnified inverted image, and the eyepiece makes a virtual image of that image. So here it is 40 times magnified. If it magnifies it 4 times, then 160 times magnified. If it magnifies it 10 times, then 1600 times magnification can be achieved. Actually 1600 times, actually it 1200 or 1200 times magnification can be achieved very clearly. Practically, it makes an inverted image. This objective again inverts it, so the image becomes erect, and the eyepiece always makes virtual image which is always erect. So through this device we can always see the erect images, and for that purpose it can be used for dissection purpose also. Now if I wish to reduce the image, then what I have to do? Then I have to push the tube into the microscope. After pushing the tube, this objective comes at a lower position. Then this objective has to make image at this position, actually behind this objective at this position. That means the image distance from the lens becomes reduced, and for that adjustment I have to increase the distance from the object to objective. That means the image distance from the lens is reduced and the object distance from the lens is increased, and that is why this image becomes the magnification of this image becomes lower. It again magnifies it 40 times, but because this image is lowered here, this magnification is reduced here, so practically the total magnification is reduced much more. If I push it much more, then the magnification is reduced much more, Actually, at that time, sometimes it has been found that the image forms at a very lower position, so the object distance from the lens becomes higher than the image distance from the lens. That is why the magnification of the image becomes less than 1. So that if it makes 0.8 times magnification, then after that it makes it 0.8 into 40, that means 32 times magnification. By using 10x objectives or 4x objectives, 30 magnification can be achieved by this device. So by this device, the dissection can also be done. Actually, different magnifications can be achieved through a single objective. So by the different objectives, all the intermediate magnifications can be achieved, which can be used in the pathological laboratories. And for dissection also, we can achieve 30 to 150 times magnification. By this 4x objective, we can achieve 70 times magnification very clearly. Then if we use 10x objective, then up to 150 times magnification can be seen very clearly for dissection purpose. Now, what is the principle about the field microscope? Actually, the field microscope, the principle is same. Here, this is the objective, like it. This is the objective. If I now pull the T1 tube much more, then this objective makes the image here. That means the image is formed after 2f distance. 5 centimeter is f distance, 10 centimeter is 2f distance, and if the image is formed at the 12 centimeter or 11 centimeter position, then the image becomes the magnification of the image becomes higher, that is more than 1. If it makes 1.25 magnified image here, then that magnification is again magnified 40 times, so that about 50 times magnification can be achieved here. Now, if we want to reduce it, then I have to push this tube. Now the image, this objective will form the image at lower position. At the lower position means then I have to adjust it, and for the adjustment, the object distance and the length should be increased. So this distance is increased, this distance is lowered, so the magnification becomes lowered and the total magnification is low. Now when it is used as a field microscope, then what is happened? This objective then forms the image of the long distance at its focal point, and that means near about 5 centimeters. So I have to pull the T1 tube much more to focusing it. So at the focal point, the image is formed. The image is very small here, but it is again magnified 40 times by this device. So the magnified image can be seen of a distant place. About 10 times magnified image can be seen by this microscope. This telescope, this is now called telescope. It is the main principle of the telescope also. For the telescopic view, it has to be pushed. It forms the real image at its focal point, and this image is seen by this device, and so the distance of the objects of the long distance can be seen by this telescope. That is the field microscope and telescopic use. When we use it in the normal telescope, then also the principle is same. Suppose this is the astronomical telescope, then the principle is same. There is a lens before the astronomical telescope, that is the objective of the telescope, that forms an image at its focal point, whose focal point is very long, and the device is placed in such a position that its objective is that this image is formed before the objective of this device, and then this device will magnify it. So the image becomes erect also, because it forms inverted image. This objective again inverts it, and this eyepiece only magnify it, and which remains erect. So it makes inverted image, it again inverts it, so the image becomes erect, and this only magnify it, which remains erect because it makes the virtual image. During the use of the device, the microscope should be used in inclined position. This is the inclined position. Actually, the modern microscopes are all inclined microscope, and it is not very difficult to use the inclined microscope sitting on a chair. But till some low height table should be used for using the device. Then the problem will be very less, and by the inclining the microscope it can be used easily. So this is the method of using it. Now there is the graduation marks to understand the magnification. Here look at the device. Here it is written 4x. That means, and here is written 3. 4x and 3. That means if I push the T1 tube into the T2 tube and just the 3 number touches the end margin of the T2 tube, and if we use here in the microscope, if we use here 4x objective, then 30 times magnification can be achieved. That means by using 4x objective of the microscope, and here after 3 graduation mark the tube has been pushed, so after using the device on the microscope, 30 times magnification can be achieved. Now suppose if I use here 4x objective, then I have to see the 4x, the 4x, here the 4x is written here, and I am pulling the tube, and here there is a graduation mark written 7. Then I am putting the graduation mark on the end portion of the T2 tube. So by using 4x objective of the microscope, if I keep the device here and now I am adjusting it, then 70 times magnification can be achieved. Now look at the device again. Here it is written 10x, and there is written 5. So if I push the T1 tube into the T2 tube and the graduation mark 5 touches the end portion of the T2 tube, and now here if I use 10x objective, because here written 10x and here it is 5, it is written here 5. After using 10x objective, if I keep the tube here and if I adjust it, then 50 times magnification is achieved. 50 times magnification achieved. At the same method, here it is written 10x and I am pulling it. Here it is written 15. So keep it on the microscope using here 10x objective, and I will find 150 times magnification. This is the method of making the graduation on the T1 tube. Now this is the description all about the device.